Been an interesting few years, hasn't it? Wars, pandemics, gun violence, oppression, hurricanes, derechos, riots. At the time you may have asked yourself, why am I here? Well, I have some good news for you, or bad news, depending on how you take what I'm about to tell you next. You chose to be here, right now, with all that's going on. You chose to be here for such a time as this. I know. Some of you are saying, what the fuck? Trust me, I get it. You not only chose this time along with the other souls that are here, you chose your circumstances, your parents. Funny, you always say our parents choose us. You chose your life adventures, the key ones that you would face, all so your soul could grow. And your soul is different than your personality, your ego, but we'll cover that in a bit. The spoonful of sugar that may help this go down centers around the understanding that you are eternal. You've never not existed, you will never not exist. We'll get into that in later chapters for sure. You, well, the part of you that's reading this anyway, you are not all of who you are. In fact, you are very little of who you are. Is that confusing? Allow me to explain. You, the eternal you, which we call your soul, is part of everything. You know, life, the universe, everything, all that is, source energy, I am that I am. And for some of you reading this, you have heard that information before, just not described this way. For those of you that grew up in the Christian faith, heard John chapter 1 read a lot. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. All things were made by Him, and without Him was nothing made that was made. And in Him was life, and the life was the light of men. To paraphrase, it's all made of God stuff, all of it. You too. This also means that the devil was created by God, but that's a different story for a different chapter. This life that was the light of men is your soul. Your piece of source energy that lives in your solar plexus chakra. We call that the soul. The you that's your soul is the passenger on this ride known as life. The you that's reading this is the operating system of the machinery you walk around in every day known as your body. We know this operating system as your ego. Think of your ego as an avatar in the video game. Your ego avatar drives the experience in the game of this incarnation. It ensures you're safe from harm, the fight or flight instinct, when it serves you. It worries and it frets over the future, it pines over the past. It does what it's designed to do. The you that's the real you is like the person playing the video game. You are riding around on the ego avatar, going from experience to experience and having a blast. Oh, watch out for that relationship. What happens if I take that job? Do I get extra points if I take damage? Like when you're playing a video game, you are safe. You know you are eternal and simply playing a game this time around. The ego avatar you, however, doesn't remember that they're really you and they don't feel safe or eternal as that hurricane is bearing down on you. Like that moment you go over the top of the roller coaster and your stomach drops out. This incarnation is truly no different than when you picked out which video game to play today. You picked out which life you wanted to experience this time around from every possible experience that all that is could think of. Some lifetimes you're into Grand Theft Auto, so maybe that incarnation is immersed in a life of crime. Maybe the last incarnation you were feeling God of War vibes and you were playing out the Crusades or World War I. In some lives you might want to see what a kind of life you can do when you build a Sim City. The point is, you choose the experience before the game loads. You knew what you were going to get into walking into this incarnation. You knew the basic patterns of the game, where the soul levels were located. You chose your avatar's costume, your body, equipment to carry along with you, your spiritual gifts, and you chose where to start, where you were born and with your family. You leveled up many times as you grew up. However, you, playing as your ego avatar, doesn't know what's going to happen next while the game is in play. And that's the exciting part. Well, unless you suck at the game. Then you might want to choose a different word. But that's the fun of this life. That's the fun of the game. It's the adventure. Not remembering you are eternal, you get to feel all the feels of living a life. Good, bad, happy, sad, devastated, elated. They're all there for you to choose from. Here's the thing. If you aren't happy with your life and how it's going, you can change your life by leveling up your avatar. You can find a spiritual journey that resonates with you and learn about your eternal nature. You can surround yourself with people that challenge your way of seeing the world and come up with a new perspective. You could choose adventures that help you live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. Thank you, Thoreau. And truly understand what it means to be alive. Or you can plop down in front of the TV and watch another person's adventures. Either choice is yours to make. Neither choice is morally wrong. I venture one is a heck of a lot more fun than the other, however. Which brings us to this. Within, you'll find a bunch of things for you to think about as you make your way around this blue-green space ball hurtling through the universe. None of the thoughts are mine. I've acquired them through my life and placed them here for you to ponder. My suggestion is to take the chapters one at a time. Sit with each one as if these were paintings in a gallery. Each is complete unto itself, but together they augment the experience. This might be a great book to read on the pooper. The chapters are short, the attention is rather captive, but that's for you to choose. What you'll find here is irreverence, humor, insight, and truth. And don't believe any of it. Seriously, don't believe me. Take out what is here and test it. Live it. See what bears up in your experience. If something in here doesn't suit you, great. Put it back on the shelf and try on something else. You don't need to believe any of it. These are my experience. My avatar has collected. Your role is to collect your own. Maybe some of them will be found in these pages. Maybe some of them won't. So join me on this grand adventure, and don't forget your towel.